Emily Nielsen here again for Cooking Lab 8. I would really like to make the carrot soup this week, which requires some alfalfa sprouts. So even though I have a few days until I'm going to be making the recipe, I need to get these sprouts going because right now they're just seeds. So I've got some raw alfalfa seeds. I went ahead and rinsed them last night and then put them in some purified water to give a soak all night long. I've got my jar with some cheesecloth that I folded over a few times and my lid. So they've had a nice little bath all night long. I'm going to go ahead and rinse them 1 or 2 times, put them in my pantry upside down on this plate so I don't ruin my pantry cupboard. And rinse. I'm going to be rinsing them in the morning and in the evening for a few days until I start to see some nice sprouts and they're about the size that I want them for my soup. So we'll check back in and see how these guys are growing. It's only the end of the first day for these alfalfa sprout seeds, but they're already starting to get little sprouts. I'm going to give them a second rinse and put them back in the pantry and see what they look like tomorrow. These alfalfa sprouts are on about their 5th rinse. They're getting rinsed twice a day. We're on day 3. They're starting to look big. Okay, so my alfalfa seeds have had 3 days to sprout. I think I would prefer a little bit longer, but time is an issue here. And so I'm getting ready to make my carrot soup, even though they're maybe not as sprouty as I would have liked. So to make this raw carrot soup, I've got about 6 carrots washed and roughly chopped. I've got an organic beet that I was able to find at the supermarket, roughly chopped, and then I've medium diced some cucumbers. I have my 1/4 cup of bean sprouts, or alfalfa sprouts, and I'm ready to go. Now I have a slow juicer, which I actually really like. It's a little bit quieter, a little bit more cathartic, and I enjoy it quite a bit. My kids enjoy it. I'm not ever worried about somebody losing a finger because it's just a little bit calmer. So we're going to juice these carrots in this beautiful wheat, and then we'll make some soup. So I got my apron on so I didn't get nicely dyed by this beautiful carrot and beet juice. I run the pulp through again usually with my juicer just to make sure I got every last drop and add a little bit more fiber and goodness to as much as possible to my juices. I've got my cucumber here, which my cucumbers in my garden aren't ready yet, so I'm super bummed about I couldn't use one of those, but this will definitely be something that I'll be able to do this summer since I'm growing beets and carrots and cucumbers. And now I know how to grow alfalfa sprouts. So I'm going to blend this up really well, and we're going to see how it tastes and see what a raw carrot soup is even like. Wow. I've had a few raw soups before, not very many, and not too many cold soups. I usually don't appeal to me. I feel like soup is a warm kind of thing. So this is a stretch for me, granted, but I feel like this is kind of blah. In all honesty, I don't think I would really enjoy eating this, even though I've got these nice salty quinoa crackers here. It just really needs something. I would think some salt, maybe even a little bit of raw garlic. I know it would be very small because it'd be a strong flavor, but it has good, it's really light, which I like, and it's sweet, which is enjoyable, but it needs some salty and something savory a little bit to make it feel more substantial to me. Overall, the process was easy. It's not very thick, which I think is probably due to my sprouts not being very sprouty and more seedy, because you can still see some seed bits in here. And I was debating whether to leave the skin on the cucumber or not, but I did, which I think was a good choice, because you can't really see it in there, and so it had, it added quite a bit of nutrients to the dish. So overall, not a total bust, but I think it would need some tweaking, and it would need something clever for me to go with it, like one of those crackers that's going to be in the module for next week, or some kind of tasty naan or something like that. That would be more like a dip as opposed to just eating it with a spoon, because I don't think that would be very palatable, at least for my crowd or me personally. So overall, pretty good. And I learned quite a bit, especially about sprouting. So thanks.